Right now, the moon is in Capricorn and the sun is in Libra. Let's see what that means for the year 2025. Hi, thank you for watching. Leave a like and subscribe. Book readings with me using the email down below. Let's get into it. So, Capricorn is cardinal Earth. It's ruled by Saturn, internal side, and Mars is exalted in Capricorn, and Capricorn comes from the 10th house. Cardinal Earth means the ability to create new and innovative ways to be stable, practical, realistic, profitable, organized, and efficient. Being ruled by Saturn means a focus on reality, structure, limits, boundaries, networking, associating, status, safety, and security. Being the internal side of Saturn means that Capricorn are more reserved and private with their cardinal Earth energy. And when it comes time to associate and connect, and also when it's time to apply or enforce limits and boundaries, also it means that Capricorn absorb realities and others' sense of practicality, safety, and networking, and then creates new internal ways to be practical, to make sense, and to be efficient about those absorbed inputs in their own life, or in ways to correct in their mind, or if that person is close enough to them, to then help them out with an improvement or a feeling of improvement or a feeling of efficiency, more status, or more responsibility. Mars being exalted in Capricorn means that the Capricorn energy can go further or too far with passion, motivation, anger, frustration, and deep desires. And then, because of the earth element and because of the ruling of Saturn, that extreme Martian energy gets mostly but not only applied to security, limits, boundaries, structure, practicality, privacy, authority, and control. Coming from the 10th house means a focus on status, career, networking, associating, your business, and the daily activities that make you or make you feel or make you look profitable, bountiful, organized, and that you got your shit together. So Capricorn can be described as new, practical, efficient, dry, and private limits, boundaries, status, responsibilities, and routines that can go far with passion, frustration, control, authority, and safety. Moon in Capricorn in its own means new feelings, new emotions, and new reactions to routines, status, responsibilities, stress, efficiency, and safety. Also, it can mean that you are attracting new responsibilities, new people, places, things, energies, and circumstances that need responsibility, they need limits, they need boundaries and organization in their life, in their emotions, or in their perspectives. With the sun in Libra, there is a square with the moon in Capricorn. So there is a learning lesson and some tension between new, social, sophisticated, balanced, light, and logical actions, expressions, and visions, and between new emotions, new feelings that are related to practicality, safety, security, privacy, and status. So you are learning how to feel more serious, more responsible, and more safe with new logical and social perspectives, thoughts, ideas, and expressions. The tension in that process might make you feel nervous, irritated, or not able and capable, but you are learning or relearning, so be patient and believe in yourself. Also, you might be learning how to see, act, and express in a lighter and more balanced way about new feelings of practicality, responsibility, status, limitation, stress, or pressure in general. You also might be learning how to attract responsibilities and realistic situations that are more balanced, fair, and light. You're also learning how to initiate new conversations and new ideas about privacy, security, stability, routines, and patterns. You might also be learning how to feel frustrated and aggressive about reality, money, status, authority, but then express it or see it or communicate it in you more balanced, more logical, and more communicative ways. And keep in mind that Mars is exalted in Capricorn and Libra does not like Capricorn, or we don't like to do Libra energy in Capricorn like ways. And then we also don't like to associate or do Libra like things within the Mars energy, which is exalted in Capricorn. Also, Saturn that rules Capricorn is exalted in Libra. So we have here some common and not so common connections between Capricorn and Libra. So yours and others' actions, expressions, and visions might not get along or might not agree with extreme passion, extreme aggressiveness, or extreme desires about reality and responsibility. But yours and others' new practical feelings can respond in a limited and shy way to extreme acts of networking, communicating, and balancing in work environments, responsible heavy environments, and heavily structured or limited environments. There is, though, a bit of a polishing sign, which is Capricorn kind of relates a bit better with Libra than Libra relates to Capricorn. Because Saturn exalted in Libra, Capricorn likes that, or we like to do Capricorn things in a Saturn like environment. But we don't like to do Libra type things in a Mars like environment. So the moon in Capricorn can help you feel more comfortable, more reasonable, more safe, and more moderate when you or others are using the Libra and Venus and extreme Pisces energy to be too much gullible, to be too much validated or looking for validation, or to be too much pleasing, or when it's an extreme case of working or stressing through communication, mediation, or diplomacy, Moon in Capricorn can make you feel or help you attract people, places, and things that can make you feel more structured, better networked, and better associated to deal and share the pressure, burden, responsibilities, and all the duties that need to be met. Now, let's take a look at tarot card for today's energy. Sun in Libra, Moon in Capricorn. It is the Five of Wands. This means that today there is a more open space to connect your emotions and feelings, to connect your sense of purpose, safety, and spirituality in a more internal and subconscious way with your visions, feelings, imaginations, dreams, illusions, expressions, actions, and sense of creativity, spirituality, and individuality. So you might be getting more attached, more delusional, or more connected in a beneficial way to a creative aspect of you, to a spiritual perspective that relates to your core set of values, for an example. But it's still a learning process, so we are learning how to do this. We are learning how to connect in a more beneficial way our emotions and feelings with our creativity, individuality, and spirituality. And what's the best way, or one of the best ways to go about that energy? The Sunshine Yellow Dragon. So this basically is to be yourself and be vulnerable. Take care of yourself, as in you expressing yourself, and you might look silly. People might not understand you. People might think you're too serious. People might think you're not serious enough. Or you might even be doubting your actions, expressions, or visions, even networking or associations. But then it's all about doing it, participating, expressing those new ideas, or going deep within those new feelings of the Capricorn moon, and then, like, reward yourself just because you did it. You know, reward yourself because you were open enough, because you initiated or you accepted some initiation. It's not really about the result in today's energy, in this alignment. It's more about the process. And this process can really help you be stronger, be more unique, and more individual, but you kind of have to treat it a bit more like a child, that it's growing. And childs are allowed to be silly and to say certain things. So today, even others, if others are not, even others, even if the world seems like it's punishing you, treat yourself good. Reward yourself because you were yourself, because you were open or initiated some new ways to think, communicate, and analyze in a more sophisticated and balanced way about new feelings and emotions that are a bit more serious and responsible about reality and structure. And now let's take a look at how the Moon in Capricorn and Sun in Libra, the squaring aspect between Venus, Saturn, and the exaltation of Saturn and the exaltation of Mars, is aligning with the rest of the natal chart. We have Mercury in Libra as well, squaring the Moon in Capricorn. So we are learning how to think, communicate, analyze, and socialize in lighter, more logical, more free, more sophisticated, balanced, or gullible ways about your new feelings and emotions, reactions, responses, and attractions that deal with responsibility, status, pressure, career, work, stress, efficiency, and health. Or you might be learning how to feel more serious, how to feel more responsible, and how to feel more real about your new ways to think, communicate, analyze, and socialize in more open, gullible, polite, balanced, and sophisticated ways. Then the Sun in Libra can help you and others to see the value, the purpose, or the limitation in yours or others' new ways to think, communicate, and analyze, because the Sun is also going through the same learning process as Mercury. Then we have Venus in Virgo trining the Moon in Capricorn. So this is a gift to relate, commit, exchange, and have pleasure in a more mutable, flexible, or scattered way about your new feelings and emotions about reality, structure, status, work, stress, and health. And then the Sun in Libra can bring new actions, expressions, and visions that are lighter, more sophisticated, or more gullible to make the mutability more ready, more on point, more experimental and open as well, while we have a gift to feel more secure, to feel more nervous, to feel more initiative while feeling nervous, to take a step forward while feeling unsure, because we or others have a lighter perspective, a more external and logical perspective about how we can connect and commit and relate in a mutable and flexible way new feelings of stress or new feelings of power, for an example. Then we have Mars in Scorpio, sextiling the Moon in Capricorn, so an opportunity to be fixed, consistent, or stubborn with our emotions and feelings that derive or are connected with passion, frustration, anger, motivation, and deep desires, with new feelings and emotions about work, stress, routines, patterns, and status. And Mars is exalted in Capricorn, so today you might be feeling, attracting, or a bit more aware of yours and others' exaltations, going too far with Mars energy when it comes to practicality, efficiency, networking, and association. There is also the opportunity to initiate new realistic, practical, or limiting emotions, feelings, or connections with your deep passion, motivation, frustration, and aggressiveness. And you can actually make real profit, not just relationship profit, not just personal profit, not just emotional or spiritual profit. There is an opportunity to initiate a process from the internal realm to the external realm where you can make some money, you can generate some security about your deep emotions, deep passions, or frustrations. Then the Sun in Libra is helping you and others to see, act, and express in a more lighter, gullible, but also sophisticated, fair, and balanced way that sextile, that opportunity to initiate new realistic feelings about deep frustrations and passions. Then you have Jupiter in Cancer opposing the Moon in Capricorn. So this is opposing new feelings and emotions that are realistic and practical about new expansions and new ways to travel and obtain wisdom and knowledge about your emotions and feelings, or about spirituality, connection, moods, and creation in general, or feeling balanced, feeling realistic, and feeling like you have a space or somewhere to apply and bring into the new water, the new feeling, the new purpose, the new spiritual awareness or perspective. Because without a place or without creating something tangible, all that spirituality, all that imagination, faith, and belief from Jupiter in Cancer has no purpose. Because for us, in our current experience, because we are in a physical realm, right? We have limits, we have boundaries, we have responsibilities and status. So if there is nowhere for that to go, it's kind of useless, because then you just be a spirit or a mind, and we are a spirit in a mind, in a body, in a world. So there is that connection. And today, or during this alignment, you can feel that connection, you can feel that purpose, you can feel that bridge, you can feel that expansive Cancer energy getting limited, but also taken into a specific shape to meet your needs or somebody else's needs that you care about. Then we have Saturn in Pisces sextiling the Moon in Capricorn, so an opportunity to initiate new feelings and emotions, or to initiate new attractions that allows you and others to build, to do networking, to do associations around mutable, flexible, and scattered feelings and emotions, dreams and illusions, spirituality, creativity, and attachment in general. Also, there is an opportunity to bring a structure that is mutable and spiritual and emotional, of course, into yours and others' new feelings and emotions about practicality, structure, status, and limitations. Then you have Uranus in Gemini in conjuncting the Moon in Capricorn. So your new feelings and emotions about reality, structure, and limitations might be misunderstanding how you, others, and the world in general are thinking, communicating, and analyzing in a more logical and surface level way about rebelliousness, opposition, innovation, change, uniqueness, and individuality. So, where is the misunderstanding? On the depth, on the purpose, on the seriousness, and on the care. But where is the common ground? On the innovation, on the change, on the progress, on the ability to connect in a progressive, purposeful way. The purpose might also be different, but that's the goal as well. Capricorn is all about associating, but in a more calculative and private way, where Gemini is way more open, is sometimes too open, right? And then the Sun in Libra is trining Uranus in Gemini, but squaring the Moon in Capricorn. So there is a gift to see, act, and express in new, innovative, and more personal ways about Uranus in Gemini, while we're learning to see, act, and express about ours and others' new emotions and feelings, about practicality that might be changing, right? Because we have some changes in society, work culture, and whatnot. So that can create some misunderstanding of feelings and emotions, or just some unstable feelings and emotions. So we can bring that gift of Uranus into the Libra Sun to help us see better ours and others, and to act better in a more sophisticated and balanced way about those feelings, about structure that can be unstable because of Uranus in Gemini, because of the how the change is being communicated and received by you and others around you in your surroundings. Then we have Neptune in Pisces as well, transiting from Aries, so still carrying a lot of cardinal fire energy, but now it's in Pisces, so it's sextiling the Moon in Capricorn. So we have an opportunity to initiate new real and practical feelings and emotions out of mutable or scattered grand feelings, emotions, and imaginations that are derived or observed from archetypal generational curses, gifts, talents, or just circumstances in general. Then the Sun in Libra is in a bit of a rough position here. Also, the same case with Saturn, because Sun in Libra and Mercury in this case are squaring the Moon in Capricorn and misunderstanding the Pisces, Saturn, and Neptune. So you and others might be misunderstanding with new actions, visions, and expressions that are more social, sophisticated, and logic. This Pisces big wave, which is really important because it's the overarching connection of spirituality, creativity, feelings, and emotions, and then it's deriving into structure, infrastructure, organization, work, stress, limits, and boundaries. So you might be misunderstanding the depth, the purpose, because there is a common goal though between Libra and Pisces, which is the beauty, the pleasure, the connection, the relating, the sharing of energy, body fluids, if you know what I'm saying, resources and values. So that's the common ground. But especially today with the Moon in Capricorn and the extra pressure or the extra learning lesson, your perspectives might be a bit clouded because you're focusing on that personal lesson first, and then because you're already misunderstanding Saturn and Neptune, when you look at it again, you're too busy formulating those new visions. But after you do so, you have a more realistic and practical perspective to look at the structure and overall subconscious patterns that these Pisces alignments are bringing into you, and then you perhaps might see the value, you might see the purpose, or just by connecting in new, sophisticated ways with some beliefs, with some emotions, or with some feelings, you can see the structure or you can see the subconscious archetypal realm where those things came from and are associated with. And lastly but not least, Pluto in Aquarius, fatal attracting the Moon in Capricorn, and trining the Sun in Libra. So with the Moon in Capricorn, we can feel more serious, more limited, more private, or more bountiful about the transformative process that Pluto in Aquarius represents, where you will have or will be associated with unique minds, unique circumstances, groups, or organizations that support, tolerate, and invest into unique expressions, unique realities, and unique circumstances. And then the Sun in Libra is helping you and everybody else have a more gullible or sophisticated and excited vision, action, and expression about that process. And that's everything for today. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Leave a like and subscribe. Book a reading with me, and I see you on the next one.